The false, yet disinformation campaigns and conspiracy theories have become a fact of our lives these days, particularly in politics.
More lockdowns, more intense than the last. Then the restrictions never get taken away. Oh, they get backed off a few degrees, but next time they clamp down even more until you have been by increment trained and prepared and ready to live as a total slave who has to get authorization from them on where you can travel and where you can go and whether you're essential or not. That's called the journey into total, absolute slavery.
Most get ignored, even laughed off, but there is one theory suggesting Canadians will be forced into COVID-19 internment camps.
The totalitarian regimes responsible for the most heinous atrocities in the 20th century, think Stalin, Mao, Hitler, Pol Pot, they didn't get there overnight. They used fear to control, they excluded the dirty people, softly at first, they justified the exclusion, they moved to harder exclusions and eventually eliminated people either socially or physically. In 21st century Australia, state premiers are racing down that familiar path, trying to out-tyrant each other, drunk on power, setting up their own biosecurity police states, complete with medical apartheid.
It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. You feel like you're in prison. You feel like you've done something wrong. It's inhumane what they're doing. Like, you are so small. They just overpower you and you're literally nothing. It's like, you do what we say or you're in trouble. We'll lock you up for longer.
The most insidious aspect of this winter psychological warfare campaign is that faulty testing, contact tracing, and travel quarantines will be used to normalize mass surveillance, Gestapo tactics, and concentration camps.
A friend of mine went to work and got tested for COVID. He had a little bit of a cold. He tested positive. He got put into this quarantine camp. We went about our days as normal, and then the investigators starting to knock on our doors and stuff like that.
These are madmen. These are crazy people that take their psychotic will for total control and comport it into this system of saving the earth from the evil human infestation. These are the people Hitler only dreamed of being.
They are literally bringing in now hundreds of people that are of close contact or that have COVID. So it doesn't even matter if you test negative on your first test, your second or your third. Because you're a close contact, you have to stay in there for 14 days, no matter what.
Conspiracy theories have become a fact of our lives these days.
I'm down third day. You don't know. I don't know when my flight is to get out of here. I've never committed a goddamn crime.
No, you're not a criminal. That's not it.
And what the hell's going on here? I've had 3 tests. I have a right to know when my test is coming, sir.
Never had COVID, and I was of close contact to someone, never got it, and I was treated literally like a criminal.
These detainment facilities have started out as quarantine hotels and cottages.
It's very scary, very, very scary, and a lot of people questioning why are so many of these facilities being built. They told us at first it was only going to be for incoming arrivals if they have to be quarantined for 7 days. I mean, the question is, why the hell do they look like high security prisons?
It's a $5,000 fine if what?
If you breach again.
If I walk out onto that path.
Without your mask on, for no reason other than the one.
If I cross that yellow line,
rule saying that you've broken the rule.
That I've broken the rule, I will be issued with a $5,000 fine.
That's correct.
The second thing is we're seeing now that they're actually not being used for the purposes of incoming arrivals. What they're being used for is to round up anyone who tests positive and to put them in there. Well, I've got to tell you, for me, it's going to be like, over my dead body.
You're supposed to be here to protect us! Protect us! You're here to protect us! You are here to protect us!
They want you to Stockholm Syndrome. They want to hurt you and get you used to being hurt so they can really start hurting you. This is just training wheels. Now the training wheels are coming off.
Where's your uniform? Hold on.
Martin, you're under arrest for a breach of COVID regulations. You failed to quarantine in a designated hotel when instructed to do so.
Most get ignored, even laughed off.
Oh, you're not a criminal. That's not it.
Then what the hell's going on here?
I know vaccination requirements are unpopular for many, not even popular for those who are anxious to get them. My administration has put them in place not to control your life,
but to save your life
and the lives of others.
Given these press conferences generally get spliced up by international trolls. Hello to all conspiracy theorists overseas watching this. Please get a life.
Is this what you do? You arrest preachers? You arrest pastors? No better than the Nazis.
An expanded rapid assessment team was deployed to Binjari and Rockall last night to help with the hard lockdown. That means residents of Binjari and Rockall no longer have the 5 reasons to leave their home.
Corrupted politicians, corrupted leaders, and this is what you do.
I know there are ridiculous, untrue rumours about the ADF's involvement. We are grateful for the support of about 20 ADF personnel as well as army trucks to assist with the transfer of positive cases and close contacts. It's highly likely that more residents will be transferred to Howard Springs today, either as positive cases or close contacts. As we all know, Howard Springs is the gold standard facility in Australia for COVID quarantine and care.
Canadians will be forced into COVID-19 internment camps.
The gold standard vaccine has been done in less than 9 months.
So right now we're about to go give a COVID vaccine to someone inside a 7-Eleven.
Yes, these are strong measures, but the threat to lives is extreme.
That's psychotic.
So I urge people not to worry about the insane, unhinged stuff that's spreading online.
With Johnson & Johnson, you only need one and done. So that's the good thing about it. You don't have to get a second one, nothing like that.
So it's time to admit that we have to go to war against COVID.
But why are vaccination universal? Have the military run it.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court. And even then, you need to help in the war effort by staying home until we finally beat this thing.
Hey, bro, how do you feel that you got this shot right here at work by U.S. soldiers?
My man, he got to take care of me, man.
Oh, these are all going to court. Everyone is. You can't put them on their cage like that. What the f is that? You can't put them on their cage like that. Sam, it'll be all right. You'll be all right. You can't put them on their cage. That's not fair. That's so bad.
We don't need to pay any more attention to them. We don't need to listen to them.
Every night on Facebook, I'm dealing with people from across the country who are sending me messages, and I'm saying to them, listen, nobody is coming to break into your house to force you to take a mumps vaccine. Honest, it's not going to happen. This is Canada.
See, that's what's happening when you're living in China there. You're going to be harassed by the Gestapo. The brown shirts of Adolf Hitler.
After having a lockdown specifically for the unjabbed, the tyrannical Austrian government announced mandatory death shots and boosters for nearly everyone. As of writing, the plan starts in February and lasts for 2 years.
You're right. I am fired up and I'm angry because I grew up behind the Iron Curtain. I've seen this movie before and it doesn't end well. They will destroy everything if you let them. They will remove every right that you have. It doesn't matter if you have your constitution or not.
Those who don't take the eugenic shots will be fined thousands of dollars every 3 months by faceless bureaucrats or by the roving Gestapo checking your mark of the beast.
So yeah, you're not lying. I did get arrested twice in the last 2 days. I'm actually currently now on 6 separate bails, all with their own types of conditions. Things like not being able to drive, not being able to fly, not being able to speak at certain places, having to have a bail surety, not being able to possess any weapons. They've confiscated all my legally owned firearms.
They're all over Twitter, all over Instagram, just pouring in. Jones needs to be arrested. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Joe Rogan, they're murderers. They are causing the record death. No, you did. It's in the shot, and I have all the science.
If you persist in your refusal to participate in their experiment, or you don't pay their excessive fines, you can be imprisoned for up to a year or more, and then charged for the cost of your imprisonment.
And if anybody remembers, way back in May, I was the first person in the history of Canada to get charged with a preemptive warrant for something they said I was going to do, which was speak at an event.
What a time to be alive. They are putting full-bore, total medical martial law with forced injections in place under UN control. I told you 20-plus months ago that by the winter of 2021, they would start mass arrest around the world, putting people in camps. Then they would normalize that worldwide and move that to the United States. That is now beginning. The military is coming to your house to take you away to a camp if you don't take a shot. Full-on, super hardcore martial law, science fiction nightmare movie, now happening, and it's all coming here.
Fear is the justification of choice for coercion and control, with non-vaccinated Australians increasingly demonised, ostracised and socially eradicated.
For people who are not vaccinated, lockdown rules will apply to everyone 16 and above. If you are not fully vaxxed, stay home. Work is not a reason to leave the home for the unvaccinated. The Chief Health Officer has also determined that restriction of movement is critical right now and that 1 hour of exercise for the next 4 days is not essential.
It's easy to see that after enough demonization, using strawman terms like anti-vaxxer, conspiracy theorist, and domestic terrorist, the quarantine prisons will quickly transform into internment camps for those with expired COVID passports, political opponents, and lockdown dissidents. And it's already happening.
I've never been more concerned about the things that are going on in this country.
Well, it's just absolutely beyond belief. I mean, if you're forcing someone but you don't have COVID and you've been tested multiple times, as I understand, right? Okay. If you can force an opposition politician into an internment camp for no real reason, then, I mean,
And just to correct that, I'm actually a member of the government, of both the state and the federal governments.
Since 2017, up to 1 million Uyghurs have been placed in what some call concentration camps and the Chinese government calls vocational education centers.
With things like labor shortages and widespread lockdowns used as an excuse, these re-education centers will morph into labor camps.
Now, I'm going to go over this, but I was already completely just blown away. I knew this was coming, but it's here.
I don't normally use phrases like this, but I think we are standing at the very gates of hell.
In the end, when the supply chains and energy grids are intentionally crippled, once hyperinflation meets hyperstarvation, these facilities will ultimately become death camps.
You know, I'm a Hasidic Jew, so I won't use the word genocide loosely. This is a genocide against the innocent and the vulnerable. This is a carefully coordinated, brilliantly orchestrated and executed evil plan to damage and hurt billions of people.
And I'm absolutely terrified that the combination of vaccine passports and top-up vaccines is going to lead to, mass depopulation, deliberate execution, potentially of billions of people. And you can stop it.
We are standing at the gates of hell. We are. We are looking at a situation where a cabal is seeking to mass murder billions of people. No, that's not an exaggeration. To mass murder billions of people of all ages, right down to the babies, because that's where they're going. Of course they're going there. What you're looking at is the end of humanity as we know it, unless we refuse to walk through those gates of hell.
The totalitarian path, the path that we are unquestionably on, has never ended well. The solution is a rediscovery of human dignity, along with, and I don't say this lightly, civil disobedience.